So this chart gives it's kind of frame of what we spoke also in Barcelona. This show up what is H farm basically, how it works, because in terms of intention and let's say the romantic side, it was like building an environment for a next tech native entrepreneur generation to support them to change the world. Okay, on a today after our public listing 2 years ago, we had to figure it out a model that wasn't a model like an incubator, an equity only business model, because this cannot support the development of a large footprint and a campus. Because this environment that we had in 12 years ago as a vision, it was a farmhouse that we say maybe a day the dream could be create a village, but it's starting from a house. You can just have a dream, and a vision to build it. So we never moved out of this mission, and we tried to understand from all ecosystems around the world to learn much more about our own ecosystem and learn out from our mistakes. We made so many mistakes, and we kept doing so many mistakes, fortunately. But we learned that we need to be,
Fortunately,
fortunately, yes, because you just need to be fast in reacting out of a mistake. Mistake, it's just something, it's just a feedback. It's a different feedback from what you're supposed to do it. But if you don't try, you cannot really understand if you're really doing what you're thinking to do it. It just be very fast and understanding if it is what you supposed to achieve or not. So it's very simple. So the way how we work is try to be fast, because the future it's especially about velocity. Something that is struggling the old generation is about the velocity. So how H farm works is very simple. You can see here that startup, education, transformation, all those three things, they are pretty much connected. And the connections you can see comes exactly with the corporation. So in the first, let's say, 20 years, once new technology appear in the market, they usually create high-tech companies, and they just um those high-tech companies belongs to the high-tech ecosystem. So let's say in the past 10, 15 years, most of startup was high-tech addressing for tech companies and try to get in Silicon Valley, try to build, the next technology to change the world, but it was pretty much close to the high-tech ecosystem. What's going to happen in the next decades, I want to say 3 or 4 decades, is that all those technology jump more and more into the society, into the real life, and that they start to creating different an impact into the all industries and in the society as well. So just looking at how Airbnb it's changing the travel industry as well. We saw Uber and a number of different services. They are changing consolidated industries, and probably the best example comes out of Tesla, because they started with car manufacturing, but it's not just about car manufacturing, it's about energy. It's about how the energy and the space can change the way how we can have the energy on the earth. So all this one, it's not anymore high tech for high tech ecosystem. It's technology applied to the real life. So that's why we say the most of the world outside of Silicon Valley or maybe Israel or just few really high-tech hub, we have corporates that are holding the main business. So giant corporations, smaller corporation, whatever, but let's say the existing industry, they are still holding the economy, they're still driving the society because they're offering the workforce, they are offering the job, and everything is going to be around this one. They have no future if they don't change. So the transformation of corporates, what do we do? It comes through the startup. So in startup, as you can see, are based by young people. I cannot consider startup if I don't give really the exact positioning of the next generation. Most of successful startup and comes out of a new generation. It's millennials and whatever we can define, whatever we want. So education is the most important element to help the young and the next generation to really be ready to create successful or useful startup to transform the existing ecosystem. So everything around H Farm is based on this system. So the education program is very connected with the startup, and the startup, all the startup you see around are all international startup, are startup that are working into programs promoted by corporation. So there is the Deutsche Bank, there is a Technogym, there is a Cisco, there is all those large companies. They promote programs where we go to recruit startups from all over the world, and the best one jump into the program, and the program aim to support those corporations into their transformation. And we also have a team of people that works into the transformations and providing specific services and providing support and also, let's say, sort of corporate education as well, like how to get the culture, digital culture and technology culture inside low tech or old school or traditional corporations. We have a team of people that's dedicating to work on this aspect, because it's basically it's different culture, you know. So let's go to get